Hey everyone, and welcome to Hearts and Paperbacks. Today we will be diving into Beach Read by Emily Henry. If you're into books that actually mix humor, heart, and a little bit of personal growth, then definitely stick around for this review because I'm about to give you my honest opinion. So grab your coffee and let's talk about it. Beach Read follows January Andrews. She is a romance writer and she's hit by a huge slump, which I can totally understand. So after losing her father, she escapes into a lakeside cottage. She wants to sort through her emotions and cope with the loss and actually find the will to write again. However, we have a plot twist, of course we do. Her neighbor is none other than Gus Everett. He's a literary fiction author and also her old rival from college. So things unfold, that's what I'm gonna say. So as you can understand, these two have very different vibes and writing styles. January writes romances about happily ever afters, and Gus writes about, let's just say, a darker kind of fiction. And here comes the plot twist. They make a deal to swap genres. January will try to write about something serious, and Gus, on the other hand, will try to write a romance. I was sold at this point of the blurb, I have to tell you. Also, let me say this here before we dive into the characters. It's like you mix the emotional depth of This Is Us with the quick wit of a New Girl episode. So I'm just gonna say less here, and let's dive into the characters. What's just great about Emily Henry is that she doesn't just focus on the romantic tension, but she also explores their vulnerabilities, and Gus definitely has his own baggage, and there's nothing I like more than reading about a troubled character with a past and with baggage. He is cynical, he has trust issues, certainly, and he hides behind his sarcasm, which also leads to very great banter. And while I did love the chemistry that he had with January, I did feel like Gus's emotional walls were up for too long. It was something that I didn't like in the character, if I'm being honest. But let me be clear, he's definitely one of the book boyfriends that I would like to have. The list is endless, we'll get into that later. And then we have January, who is actually dealing with a really tough situation right now. She just lost her father and she has to go through all the stages of grief. And she's also having to deal with some things her father did. I'm trying to avoid spoilers here, but she has to come to terms with what he did and how she's going to cope through it and through the loss of her father as well. She cannot resolve the problems and issues in her head because he's now gone. So I like that we see her go through the journey. And overall, I really like the fact that both of them are wounded in different ways, which definitely makes the journey towards each other and finding each other in love even more authentic to me. Now let's talk about the tropes, because we have one of my favorite tropes, enemies to lovers. January and Gus start off with this simmering tension, and each one is convinced that the other one looks down on their work. But as they get to spend more time together, the walls come crumbling down and they let each other in. So we get to see them as rivals and enemies, and then that moves on to something more. We also have forced proximity, but in this case it's not as strictly enforced as in other novels. I mean, these two are literally living next to each other, even if it's just for the summer. And add the fact that they're working together on their writing, and well, you definitely know where this is going, because I was personally giggling at myself while I was reading, especially when I realized that they are neighbors and they have to communicate with each other, let alone when they try to write in each other's genres. So yeah, that was really hilarious for me. And finally, for the tropes, we have the miscommunication trope, which I know a lot of bookworms don't like, myself included, I have to say. And it could definitely be missing from the book. Yes, I said it. I mean, at some point I was like, just talk to each other, what is going on? I mean, there were points where January was actually expressing doubts concerning Gus, but instead of speaking to him about her concerns, she chose to be quiet and stew on her thoughts. I mean, come on guys, talk to each other. You can do it. I mean, they do it eventually, as you can probably understand, but at some point I wanted to put the book in the freezer like Joy from Friends. So, is this just a fluffy romance? Definitely not. While Beach Read does have a lot of swoon-worthy moments, it also manages to tackle real-life struggles, like January's grief and Gus's troubles from the past, that make this connection between them and the chemistry feel like it's something they earned, something they build up to. And for me, it's not about two people learning how to love, it's about how two people came to trust again. And I'm going to be totally honest with you, as January came to some realizations about herself, I found myself crying alongside her, and it was really heartfelt. So, if you're looking for fun and heartfelt books like Just for the Summer or This Summer Will Be Different, then Emily Henry's Beach Read is for you, and I have to say it was a 5-star read for me. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read Beach Read or if it's in your TBR list. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, keep reading and stay passionate. Bye!